I will tell you, this is a really, really awkward conversation. Mom, Dad, I don't want to talk about what I get inheritance. I don't, that's not the point of this. I want to talk about your plans for your care, your finances. Where are they? And it's one of those things, like I tell everybody, blame me. Hey, Dr. J says I got to talk to you about this. Sounds silly, but I have a whole bunch of people that are blaming me, and that's perfectly fine, because the hardest part is getting the conversation started. And usually what happens is the conversation starts, you kind of like break the ice, and then over time you'll find out more. When we've done this with our clients' parents, I'm trying to think, just about every time, I can't say 100%, but just about every time, parents walk out and go, okay, I feel better about it. I've had a good conversation with my kids. We're all on the same page.
Welcome to the Childfree Wealth Podcast, hosted by Bree and Dr. J, Certified Financial Planner. Here we discuss life and finances as it relates to being child-free. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please consult your advisor before implementing any ideas heard on this podcast.
Hey, Childfree Wealth listeners, we are back talking through the Childfree Guide to Life and Money, my new book. Hopefully you bought it by now. We're going to talk about No Baby Step 7, which is chapter 15, Plan for Mom and Dad, or Plan for Parents. This one's interesting. We've been doing a lot of work with our clients on looking into what is their family situation, and are they going to have to support their parents? And what are the boundaries around it? Are you willing to have everyone move with you? The answer, nobody moves in with us. Just no. My wife and I, nobody lives with us. Not that we don't love them, but nope. But we'd help in other ways. You need to know what that is. And we've been helping our clients. We do kind of a parent checkup to look and see what their financial situation of the parents are and kind of what's going on. And the unfortunate truth when you look at your parents' finances is there's a huge income disparity here. There's some talk right now about trillions of wealth coming from baby boomers. I don't know. I don't know I believe that, because here's what I find. There's really two buckets of parents. There's ones that are broker than we thought and ones that are richer than we thought. It's there's this huge split down the middle. And that's probably a reflection of income disparities. But what we tend to find is there's very few parents that are kind of down the middle, just doing fine. It's either they don't have a plan for long-term care, they don't have a lot of assets, they're going to end up on Medicaid, or you're going to have to help support them, or they have millions of dollars. And that's about it. It's really weird. And both provide planning opportunities. If your parents are going to be passing down millions of dollars, that impacts your own financial plan. And you can't just be like, la, 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 I'm not listening. I'm not, no, you need to be real about what you're getting from your parents. And if they don't have enough money to pay for their care, that's important for you to know too. I had a couple, between them, they had 3 parents who were alive. And they said, hey, I want to plan to pay for their long-term care. I said, okay, at today's rates, that's $750,000. And they're like, hold up. I didn't say $750,000. Well, that's the number. $115,000 times 2.2 years for men, 3.7 years for women. That's it. And that's a big number. And I don't think that's realistic for anyone to plan on paying for all of their parents' care. I've had others who have decided, hey, I'm going to build someplace like a ADU, which is the kind of apartment for their parents and their property. That's fine. Others that have helped their parents kind of sell their property, move to someplace better, get into a CCR so you continue to care, retire, something. The truth is you need to figure this out, and you need to figure this out now. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what age your parents are. You need to know. And we're going to put in the show notes. We have a list of questions you ask your parents, an article from Women's World I was in. But really, you need to understand, what are their finances? What's their insurance look like? What's their will? What's their power of attorney? And if you're named in those, you need a copy of them. My nightmare is you're named in the will or the power of attorney, but it's in the safe deposit box, which you need a copy of the will to get into the safe deposit box. And you have to know where the safe deposit box is. And like, if you are on the other side of the country, you get a phone call and like, hey, mom's in the hospital. What do you want to do? Like, that is not going to help you. You need to have a plan. And I will tell you, this is a really, really awkward conversation. Mom, Dad, I don't want to talk about what I get inheritance. I don't, like that's not the point of this. I want to talk about your plans for your care, your finances. Where are they? And it's one of those things, like I tell everybody, blame me. Hey, Dr. J says I got to talk to you about this. Sounds silly, but I have a whole bunch of people that are blaming me, and that's perfectly fine. Because the hardest part is getting the conversation started. And usually what happens is the conversation starts, you kind of like break the ice, and then over time you'll find out more. When we've done this with our clients' parents, I'm trying to think, just about every time, I can't say 100%, but just about every time, parents walk out and go, okay, I feel better about it. I've had a good conversation with my kids. We're all on the same page. It's not always like that easy when you start, but it is one, by the way, that getting a third party to help you through might be worth spending the money. A lot of our clients will hire us to take care of their parents for a little bit of time because it's so hard. But you need to know, what is your plan? And this, when I say plan for parents, I really mean plan for any family members you're responsible for, but the chapter would be too long if I did that. I had somebody explain, okay, I've got my parents' plan, but they have decided that I am going to be guardian for my brother who is got some special needs and will need care for life. Well, are you okay with that? Like, I'm not judging. You want to do that? Cool. You don't? Cool. But you got to be part of that. Like, mom and dad don't just get to make that choice for you. You need to say part of that. I had somebody else also, they talked to their mom. Mom's like, Mom, what's your plan for long-term care? And her answer was, easy, I'm moving in with you. I'm like, well, hold up. Have we had that conversation? Because what happens if you don't have the conversation, you don't set the boundary, it's like an incremental thing. So mom will fall, break her hip. It could be dad, but let me pick on mom. And mom will fall, break her hip, and then move in with you for 3 to 6 months while recovering. I've had this happen to clients. Mom's there now 6 months. She's doing better. She's now 9 months. She's still there. You're like, hey, mom, you ever moving out? Now you say a little nicer than that, but that's the question. And mom's like, no, I'm doing fine here. But at the same time, you've lost your life. You've lost your relationship. You've lost your relationship with your spouse. And for my soloists, I don't know why, but just go with me. Often the soloists are expected just to move in with their parents. I had a reporter reach out to me and say, talk to me about kids living with their parents for longer in their 30s. I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk about that. But I'll talk about parents moving in with their kids or having their kids move in with them to take care of them. And I call it the Childfree financial bingo, which is like, well, you don't have kids, so you can take care of mom. Yeah. Don't just make it a default choice. We have to have a plan. This whole chapter dives into it, talks about how do you have a conversation with them, what do you need to know, what type of documents you need to collect. It's all in the book, Childfree Guide to Life and Money. Order it now.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a rating or review. We'd love to keep the conversation going. Please let us know your thoughts wherever comments are available or email us at media@childfreewealth.com. To stay up to date, find and follow Childfree Wealth on social media. If you're interested in working with us, learn more by visiting our website, childfreewealth.com. We'll see you next time.